welcome back to another special edition of the warm-up show with the co-host directly for the Sunshine State, the coach when she back in the booth, and we have to go all the way to the north and in Ontario to find our co-host, Mr. ENORTAP. He is in the house tonight.
Hello, Coach, and hello, Hockey Nation. Great to be here, Coach.
Welcome aboard Wednesday, January 26, 2022. A lot of things to talk about tonight. We have a few already. Some people jumping in the house. Look like Mr. NHL Hockey News is on fire. Mr. ENORTAP and the chat is getting everything's going on over there. Mr. NHL, welcome aboard.
Hello, NHL. Hello, welcome.
And we have a few other people. First of all, directly from Manitoba, Winnipeg. Not only alone, but he's always with the You Are Awesome comment. And then Asham is in the house.
Hello, Colette and Dan. Welcome.
From Toronto, you neighbor, Mr. Kevin, Christian, and Kaden TB in the house.
Hey, Kevin. Welcome.
Everything is big over there. We call this the biggest place in the world. We're talking about the biggest cookie. We're talking about Mr. Joseph Lanham in the house.
Hello, Joseph.
He's back. He's back.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Bud the Monkey Boy in the house. Again, one more time. You need it. He said, by the way, Jeff Carter extend 2-year contract at $3.25. I think that's a great contract if he did it. I think that's a good way over there. The Boston Bruins fans is back in the house. Tonight is going to be late to watching a hockey game because the game starts at 10 o'clock Colorado because it's a special TNT night Wednesday night. So Russ Stubbington is in the house.
Welcome,
from
Russ.
New York, Jose Duarte in the house.
Hello.
From Sherbrooke, Nicolas de Gobi Bono.
Welcome, Nicolas.
From Utah, hopefully your interview is doing well. You have a great success with your interview today, earlier. Mr. Ron with Kings 20 is back with us.
Welcome, Ron.
From Finland, he says, salut, moi moro. He said, Yamo Vertanen.
Hello, Yarmo. Moi.
And directly from the shack in Orleans, Ontario, he got all the fish out of the lake today. It's called a miracle. Danny T. Leave, Storm Fisherman. Rightly, he got it, he did it, and he's back directly because he's ready for the game tonight, Mr. Danny T.
Danny. Welcome, Dan.
Bad Monkey tried to sell on the fantasy hockey Sean Couturier in our tap. Are you interested to get Sean Couturier? Do you want Sean Couturier?
No, thank you.
Why not?
Because I'm good as I am. My team's going to win anyways.
He tried to trade Sean Couturier.
He tried to trade Caulfield.
Oh, Yamo, he did it. Yamo, he just told him, Mr. Yamo. Yamo is pretty good. He knows all the insider.
He knows.
Yamo is really update everything, Yamo. Yes, Sean Couturier is out for the rest of the year, Mr. Bud the Monkey. And so he said, don't say anything.
Bud, we know. There's a little report next to his name.
It's funny about that one over there. Mr. Runs, he went very well, but I ended up having to decline the offer to do scheduling things. Sorry to hear that, Ron. Everything will happen at the right time when you're going to be ready to get the right one. I want someone anything about this by the monkey, about that. Yamo, by the way, I want to thank you, Mr. Yamo. Somehow, somewhere, I got a likes from Ismo Lekanen, the dad of Arturi Lekanen, when I did the video today. Yamo, thank you so much. I know you make a connection or whatever happening, but I know you make something there. The news, CNBC New York Rangers star Henrik Lundqvist reflect on the career ahead of the jersey retirement of the Friday tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night, but in tonight. And tonight's Henrik Lundqvist is going to get his jersey at the rafter over in the Madison Square Garden, where he was invited yesterday at the brothers Manning football quarterback have a
Peyton.
Yeah, so they have a show. And they invite Lundqvist this week. So very nice from this Lundqvist. Talk about an icon for different team, right? Like Pekka Rinne or Lohan Goemont in Florida. But Lundqvist, that's what he represents for many years in the New York Rangers. So I want anyone want nurse? Not all that. But I can give you Boston Bruins hoodies. I find it today is very much a blood, but don't worry. And we have few people screaming, "Go, Leafs, go," in the chat. And we invite everybody. Don't forget to click on the likes. That'd be awesome. But before we invite Mr. ENORTAP with his presentation of his face-off opening show, we want to celebrate some people here today, Mr. ENORTAP. Some did very well on the prediction yesterday. I'm sure Ismo Lekanen watched that video. Yamo, thank you so much. Very kind. We have a few people did very well yesterday, Mr. ENORTAP. We start with you. You did really a perfecto with 8-0 with Coach. Follow also ENORTAP. And then we have another one, Yamo. Yamo did it also, Yamo. And honestly, we got beat because Yamo also get one score, score yesterday. So Yamo 8-0 plus a 1 score. He's the star of the prediction last night. Congratulations about Yamo yesterday. And then we talk about, Jose Duarte, Antico Ivula, Danny T, Round Kings 20, Ross. All the four have a 7-0 yesterday, 5 of them. Then we have Kelly, Veleo, Pierre Martin, and John Grega, 6-2. Kelly is going to come back to me, tell me, hey, you missed one score, but that's what happened. Yes, Yamo, you got 4-2. Then we have a Steve G at 5-3, Joseph Laham and Richard Mullen at 4-4, close. Then the right score, Yamo, John Grega, and Andy Kuivula with 1. And the fantasy with the most points yesterday, both of them select Crosby. Crosby have 3 points with yesterday. So Pierre Martin and Rich Mullen have the score yesterday. Congratulations, Mr. Pierre and Rich, about that. What happened to the Jet last night? Well, like they do all the time, they lost. Dan, just kidding. But, it's a Panthers did very well then yesterday. And they missed really Nikolai Heller. That kind of team like Winnipeg need their top 6. One of the top 6 is not there. You can see they are fragile.
They feel it. And
they will have to find a way to add more players. They want to possibly make the playoff, but I'm not sure about that. The Jet crash, but the monkey said. Talking about
you they also have
awesome. You are amazing. The president of the Hockey Nation Live Show, Liv Clan, she's in the house, like Miss Kelly. She's with Ozzy, and now we have Kevin, and now we have the Danny, the Quazuar of the Hockey Nation Live Show is right here, right now. Imagine that, Mr. ENORTAP, and we need some help. We need Sly and Roger join us the next couple of minutes. If not, going to be a struggle. Ross said, damn Canucks. Yes, Ross make a mistake. Well, only one mistake. He won with the Canucks Vancouver. By the way, it was funny. And this Edmonton Oilers and ENORTAP with Vancouver, only 3 people in the chat select Edmonton last night, plus us. So everybody was targeting more the Vancouver game last night, and otherwise pretty even everybody. So it was a great selection of pick everybody. Anyway, at the end of the day, we did very well about that. So congratulations.
That was the
Yes.
problem. They had 3 players out of the lineup. They're 3 top scorers, so it was going to be a long night for them for sure.
Yep. And then you have, I think, Lundqvist is the best goalie not to win the cup. It's one of them. You know, a couple of other goaltender in NHL did not do it, right? But it's one of them for sure, Ron. It's funny because as the people we follow a lot the last couple of years, the Luan Go and also Lundqvist and Rainey. There you go. I was going to try to say Reka. It's Rainey. And 3 of them never won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
And 3 of them have an average goal average between 242 to 249. 3 of them have the same kind of number as the stats. So pretty impressive. Most of them, like Nashville, been only with Nashville, Rainey, and then Lundqvist only with the Rangers. And of course, Luango went to the Islanders, Vancouver, and the Panthers. But, you know, it's pretty amazing to see that. About that, go Abs, go. Dan is joined. Here we go. I love it. I forgot about said that. Dan is a fan of Montreal. Bottom K Bros, there he goes. That's what coming soon. Luango Irene has something to say. Bottom Monkey. Niku for the waiver list for the Montreal Canadiens. Ends for Bennett. Yamo. I will keep ends. Add Campbell to that list. Steve G. About that. Welcome back, Mr. Steve G, by the way, from Colorado. What about Palmaris as a head coach of Montreal next season? Then, if he cannot speak English, French, he cannot be coach of Montreal, unfortunately. I can give you Mike Babcock right now is learning French for the last 3 weeks. Just kidding. It was too easy to set that one over there. But, you know, this Dallas first line is buzzing. Everything right there. Bottom Monkey, you're absolutely right about that. They are doing well. We're hitting 516, and we know what's going on at 516 because that's the time we call it the face-off of the game with Mr. ENORTAP. He's going to tell us what happening the last 24 hours. I need to do a graphic of Mr. ENORTAP at the opening face-off of the show. What happening the last 24 hours? You can mention maybe other, you know, not only one, maybe other things, but give us a little bit what happening around the league for sure, Mr. ENORTAP.
Thank you, Coach. There's always a few things that happen every night. That's for sure. Some nights more than others. But for me, I guess the 3 things kind of stood out to me last night that I wanted to mention today. I'll start with the shortest one. The shortest one is the Dell hit, the Buffalo goalie. I thought that was, like, we've gone through an era in hockey where we've gone to many extremes to try to protect the goalie. And when this kind of stuff is allowed, because Dell is a repeat offender. He's done this before to other players, and he interferes in the manner in which he did. That could cause injury, and last night it did to Ottawa's probably top player right now. So, you know, Bathurst, these things can't be allowed. I think a suspension is in order for him, and I would say it'd have to be a little bit stricter to send the message. I'd say it'd have to be 2 or 3 games for now. So that's number 1. Number 2, I really want to highlight Joe Pavesky. Pavesky is, I mean, here's a guy that's 37 years old, has had a career year, but I mean, he's had a career period that's fantastic for the record books, even going back to his days in San Jose. But this year with Dallas, it's surreal. Like, he's got, I think as of last night, he had 48 points in 40 games that he's played. He has a plus 14 on the team. He seems to be the catalyst and the leader of the team. Just to put things in perspective, in his last 14 games, he's put up, I think, 30 or 31 points. So that's, more than a 2-point clip right now that he's going at it. We wonder sometimes, we count Dallas out, but when we see Pavesky stepping up like that with a couple of other players, we know why that's happening. And last but not least, I want to talk a little bit about the Philadelphia press conference today. With Cliff, not Cliff, but Chuck Fletcher. I don't know if that was posturing on their behalf, and I really did not buy what they were selling today. I think that here's a team that's lived in mediocrity for a number of years now. They've made some horrible managerial decisions over the years, and it goes back to the days of Holmgren and when Hextall especially was in from, I think, 2014 to 2018. And now even Fletcher, some of the trades that they've made, some of the free agencies that they've acquired with the money attached to it, they've been bad contracts. And to sort of come up at the podium and say that they see that they can contend next year, I don't know if they're deluding themselves or they're just spinning a story here for their fan base, because there's no way that this team, unless they totally rebuild, is going to be anywhere near the form that they need to be. And you can blame it on injuries, but you know what? Every team has had injuries this year, and you can't really go on that. So I don't know. I didn't get very much out of that conference, the least of which any sort of sincerity on behalf of the Flyer management. So we'll see where it goes, but I guess it's all going to start with Claude Giroux, and we'll see what he decides, because he holds all the cards here, right? He has a no movement clause in his contract, and if he decides that he wants to stay, that's going to put Philadelphia even further behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, I agree with you. We know what Montreal's doing right now, Arizona, but you have to add now Philadelphia in the mix of them, because they are my biggest problem for them. They don't have nothing in the farm. Like Montreal, right. They have a lot of prospects. They are coming. They have a lot of draft pick for the last 3 years. They are number 2 in NHL with 45 draft pick the last 5 years. And Flyers have nothing. They have nobody. The one they have right now, they are in the NHL. It's Carter Hart, Cam York. You have Forster, Morgan Frost. That's what they have. The rest is far. It's nothing there. You have nothing in their club farm. So that's the thing. I have to figure out something. So it'll be interesting to see what's happening about that. We want to welcome Mr. Alan Barnes, G-Bay. Mr. Richard Mullen is joined us with RJ Calabro, gave us all the information. All of you guys, thank you so much.
Welcome, guys.
And we just lost Danny. He's stuck under the shack right now. I don't know, the shack is on fire on the river, but he just left for, he maybe come back later. So we'll see what's happening. But yep, so right about this. Great comments about Arundel, everything like that. Because we have only 5 games tonight, guys. We thought maybe do something friends, everything like that. Don't forget, tomorrow night, it's the Open Door Happy Hour Saloon ENORTAP tomorrow night. It's Thursday, just a couple of days before the weekend. I think the Thursday is the best night we go to the saloon. So don't forget, we'll be back at the saloon tomorrow night earlier, because we have a lot of game on the program. So going to be at the saloon at 5:15, 5:20 tomorrow night. But tonight we're going to do another direction. It's ENORTAP is going to receive a lot of questions for me. But you guys in the chat, you're going to have a chance and opportunity to give us the comments about the question I asked to ENORTAP. So you can participate. It's not only ENORTAP is going to answer. You can tell us what you think, and that'll be something we can sharing all together. That's not a problem. Some of them is already ENORTAP answer some question I asked for him. But welcome back, Mr. Alexis, the Scout Dubuc in the house.
Welcome, Alexis.
It's funny. Steve G said, "Good job on your pick, Yamo," and Steve G said nothing about you and me in ENORTAP.
That's okay. It's all
And
right.
that's all right. We'll go to give him a pass. I'm on again for that one over there.
You realize we'll probably go over.
It's funny, guys, because sometimes I prepare question everything like that, and in our time we already talked about two of my question, and now I have one more question, and then GB question about that one also. It's like, you guys, it's funny when I come with this, so you guys are all the kind of information and everything like that. Coach, I think I went 6-2, not 7-1. I picked Buffalo, Vancouver to win, and they did not. It's because you have an interview today. I gave you one extra point, Mr. Ron, so that's the reason you got 7-1, not 6-2. I was just trying to be generous with you. You deserve it. So I gave it to you. It was Kelly. She would be under. But you, I give you over today. Coach, before the Christmas break, the Panthers probably was 6.8. Now it's 29.5. Yes, but the monkey, honestly, they did not do well yesterday, but well. And Steve says, saloon time. Yes, put your horse outside. I'll be ready. Double contract for Jeff Carter. Yeah, Alexei, you're absolutely right about that. Yamo got a correct sort too, not coach. A tap. Here we go. Ask him so much. Not a problem, Ron. About that one of the today our game, Yamo said. It's time to get there. So what happening here, guys? A couple of questions. Usually I put music at the background. Usually I give a time for ENORTAP. We're going to go one at a time. But before start, we want to mention I'm supposed to have a picture somewhere. I don't know. I cannot find it anyway. It's not a big deal. Let's start in with this one over there. It's going to be at the bottom. Do you believe Chris Kreider will score 48 goals and more this season? That's pretty much what GB was mentioned earlier. Win the record asterisk at 30 goals. So my question to you, everybody, is this part over there. Do you believe Chris Kreider score 48 goals this year? You have already 30 goals and 43 games, I believe.
Yeah, he's got 30 halfway through. Yeah, I'd have to say yes. I mean, he's having a career year. He's always been able to put up goals, but obviously this is a much bigger feat. But I could see him doing it, definitely. He's got a lot of good playmakers as well on his line, and so that helps quite a bit. And he creates a lot of space for them to be creative and set him up as well. So, and he goes to the net hard. I mean, that's in Montreal. Definitely, we know that from a few years ago, but. Yeah, I could see it, definitely.
I think I have this. Here we go. Goal scoring leader. That's why the picture I was looking for. 30 Grader, Tresalo 29, Alex Ovechkin 29, Austin Matthews 25. Kelly, what's going on with Austin? And Alex the Brinkat 24. They are the leader of the goals. So that was the question purpose about that. Only but the monkey said no. The most of people said yes. About that one over there. So I agree with you, ENORTAP. How much power play goal, Yamo? I believe it was 13, Yamo, but it's not confirmed. I cannot guarantee that number. It was about 12 last time I checked, so I can go with 13, but I will not be far to that number. So
I think he's tied with Ovechkin for most 5-on-5 goals.
Okay.
Which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
As well.
So that's what happened the first one. The second one, I changed the direction of this. It's going to go under you're going to be. How are you going to watch the Olympics in ENORTAP? If not, which sport do you enjoy the most during the Olympics? So everybody in the chat, if you're watching the Olympics or not, if not, which sport do you enjoy the most? There's going to be an interesting answer in ENORTAP because depending where you live in the world, there may be other sport you don't watch or you watch, not about hockey, but like on the Olympics, you maybe, I don't know, the ski phone or the,
or maybe whatever forms,
whatever they call it, the the skater, the speed,
The
whatever. So
skiers.
so I'm just
Yeah.
curious about this, and so it's really about the Olympic skeleton race. My favorite. See, there you go. That's a good one over
Yeah.
there by
Yeah.
Steve G. But the answer for you, Mr. Notap.
For me, yeah, definitely. I mean, I enjoy sports in any way, shape, or form, especially hockey. It's unfortunate that we don't have our best representation there, but that could be said for all the other countries as well, or most of them. Um, but still, the group of athletes that they're gathered together, uh, like speaking for Canada, anyways. I still think that they'll be very exciting, and they'll have a lot to offer. So definitely, I would watch that. And even other sports, like there's very few sports that I don't enjoy at the Olympics. Maybe because they come around so infrequently that once you see them on that level, and you see sort of these are the fruits of the labors of young athletes that have trained and trained and trained to get to this point, and then to see the culmination of that in hopefully related into a medal, and as a representative of their country. You always get goosebumps with those kind of things.
I agree with you. We have Mr. R. Richard said he was a freestyle ski. And then Sam P said curling is always fun to do.
Yeah.
Yamu loved the Jamaican bobsleigh now. It's a new team at the next Olympic. By the way, the Jamaican does a bobsleigh. That's the first time. Speed skating and bobsled. He said, I cannot watch sport, no cable. Jose, you can check now, Jose, online, free live stream. Jose, let me know. I will give it to you, or what he called it. But I can imagine myself, Sam P, and ENORTAP. I'm doing the play-by-play curling one night, Canada versus USA, and the guy is prepared to throw. And now I'm coming, and then, usually it's very calm. And now we're screaming. He's getting with the broom. He's going left and right. He's pushing the left side, turning right. He's coming to the left side. He kicked the red line. He's coming to the middle, and he's getting a goal. Score 2 points for the Canada at the boot number 6, and the game is to take the lead by 2. Canada over USA for the gold medal at the Olympic China 2022. I think I could get hired by NBC Sport in OTAP. That'd be great.
Yeah, okay. Not for that. For hockey, maybe.
At least people laughing also in the chat. That's pretty good. Next one, Mr. Inatap. You talk about that suspension, by the way. So it was funny you mentioned about that.
Sorry, I had no idea what your questions were going to be. Farrendale gets suspended.
How many games?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I think that they need to send a bit of a message here. This is not the first time he's been found guilty of that. So I would personally, I would like to see about 5 games. I know it's not going to happen, but 2 or 3 would be appropriate.
I agree with you about that. I think 3 will be the max he can reach. About that one over there. I think the gravity of Batterson make maybe the NHL go a little bit hit more on him. Unfortunately, it is. But
like I said, there's so many measures that you can't touch a goalie nowadays. For them not to have that same assurance, players, when they go around the net, like he was nowhere really near the net. The goalie was outside at least two feet from his own crease, and he decides to lay the shoulder into him and injure him. I don't know.
Yeah, possible about that one there. Yamu said, I have a question. Which sport's second position is a down miss athletic? He said, and then he come back with that one over there. If you're second on biathlon, you are not smart because you're going to shoot. Honestly, I never looked this kind of sport, like everything shooting and the targeting. I just feel like, I don't know. But you have to respect them because they practice so much to pay attention about that one over there. I would say 5 game. It was mentioned he would get 5. Ross said Matthews has 5 game and he has 25 goal, greater 30. About that, Matthews have 5 game in hand. So Matthews, yes, I agree with you, GB, about that. Ski with a gun, Yamo. Yep. that's what. And welcome, Mr. Steve Carr. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like. That'd be awesome. Let's move on to the next question before we go. We have about 5 more minutes. The next question is, honestly, once Steve Carr will disappear, you're going to see the question. Jacob Chikron for the Arizona will be traded to which team in our tap? Give us 3 teams, maybe. Or you think he won't be traded and stay with Arizona?
Wow. You know what? I can't see how they're going to trade him. I'll be honest with you. I think he'll remain there. He's got a decent contract. He's still very young. I think he's 24,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken. Um, like if Arizona is building right from grassroots, I mean, this is one guy you want to have on your team. But having said that, like I think they would trade Gostisbehere before they traded Chikrin. But who would want Chikrin? I mean, teams are going to get in line for him, of course, because it's a very friendly contract, uh, and it has term as well. So I could see Florida getting in line. I could see perhaps the Leafs as well. That's not out of the question. Um, uh, who else?
And that's how we have Toronto, Boston, Florida, Colorado.
Colorado, I don't see as much. I think they're fairly solid there. Florida for sure. Boston's a possibility, but again, you have to have. He's not going to come cheap, right?
Ron
And I don't
said
think.
Los Angeles, Rangers, and Florida.
Um, Florida and the Kings, I can see. I'm not sure about the Rangers.
I'm going to make a video this week about him, where he could be traded, right? And but I would not be surprised he would not be traded because the demand, what they request is too much. It's too high.
That's true.
You're going to
That's true.
destroy. It's because he's not the Adam Fox. He's not the best defenseman. He's not a Hetman yet. He's not a Hosey. And he's, for me, on the
Makar.
second level of defenseman in NHL. It could be
That's
8 to
right.
12, whatever you call it, right? He's not in the top 5 in my book. And you ask him exactly what Jack Eichel, they ask for him in return. And I think that's not too much. Now, for all the team they are talking about, I'm going to talk this in the video, the best team can match up what Arizona looking more, it's really Los Angeles King.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have nothing else after that. And if the
Yeah.
Los Angeles King does not trust anymore, Villardi, example, Turcotte, that's 2. And then they give the first round pick, that's 3. And they can maybe give another players, defenseman, whatever it is, that's 4. That's maybe the only team. I don't see Florida going to destroy their team for him. Um, that's the second team after Los Angeles King have the most possible chance to get trade. Otherwise, I don't see that what happened about this. The Ducks could be one run, but the problem with the Ducks is they will have Jimmy Trestel. You're going to have a Zegras. You have to have a really big, important defense players inside the prospect to hurt the Anaheim Ducks. And the Ducks are difficult because they have right now to resign UFA Manson lying home over there. So I don't think the Anaheim could be. I understand it was part of some conversation over there, but I'm not sure. By the way, Steve G, I agree with you. Shooting target after cross-country skiing and out the bread because they go all the way. And there's also the weather. The weather could be another effect, the way
Yeah.
they run this over there. So great comments about this. The next question I want to talk about in our tap for everybody. What's next for the Flyers? Which players could be traded and where? Because we're missing
Oh,
time, I will ask you maybe 1 or 2 players.
yeah, for sure. Because we kind of talked about the Flyers a little bit earlier when I discussed that. Um, I think Giroux is a definite possibility. Where could he land? Believe it or not, I could see him landing in either Colorado or Minnesota. And I think going to either one of those two teams will definitely tilt the balance for those two teams. I could see. I know Fletcher said no to Ristolainen, but if the price is right, I think that he's definitely available. Of course, they have Martin Jones. If anybody takes a bite there and needs a backup goalie, really badly going into the playoffs, they might take a bite. And the only other guy I can think of maybe is the Iron Man himself, Yandel.
Yep, I agree with you. What I believe me is Giroux and Ristolainen, like Yamo said, is going to be happen for sure at some point. And then Ronson, the new coach. I think coach will come at the off season. They just hired John Torchit. Is it what
Yeah,
Torchitzi?
Tor, Tor
Torfitzi?
yeah, something like that.
Yep,
Torcelli or Torkelly.
about that.
Yeah.
What is the cost for Giroux? It's depend
Uh,
when, but I will expect a second round pick. It all depends the money retaining and
yeah,
that contract will make it fun because he is 8.25. And for the rest of the season, the Flyers can grab a lot of money on that one over there. You can add a third team in return, and then a team can trade a pick in return for that one over there. So it could be a three team over there. But a second round pick minimum. And if it's a late pick, it could be a first round pick, um, honestly. And I'll be surprised, everybody here, the New York Rangers.
yeah, that's a possibility too. Yeah, but again, it's all in Giroux's hands, right? He
Yeah.
holds all the cards right now.
But I would say to you, Giroud would prefer stay in the East Coast and go to the West Coast or somewhere else because he's Philadelphia, New York is very close, and he can travel back and forth, family, everything like that. So if you think about you have a choice, it could be that one, that team over there for sure. The next question, Mr. ENORTAP, is: are you agree that the league split is best players and three line?
We
Nylander play
agreed.
on the third line.
Oh, yeah, they tried that in the last game. Um, it's not a bad idea. I mean, I think that that's a way of sort of getting Marner and Nylander on uh, different checkers. It does spread a little bit of their wealth, and I think that now's a good time for them to experiment these kind of things because they're in a good position in terms of the standings. Why not experiment and see? Okay, what happens when I put my top three guns on the top line? What happens when I spread them throughout? Kind of like what Boston's done with Pasternak and brought him down. It kind of solidified that second line a little bit more. And I think that that's what's happening with the Leafs because it's harder now to contain, all of their guns. Before you could put one solid checking line on their top three players, and they didn't have much more to offer. But now it's spread out a little bit better. So yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's a good
I
idea.
agree with you. It could be hanging there, but the problem is this compared to Florida example or maybe the Tampa Bay last season, they don't have enough depth for me to
Yeah,
carry on
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of top nine like other team when they do that. So that would be my only concern. A couple of game it could be, but at some point you're going to see they're going to really focus on top six at some point. That'll be my point about that one over there. And it's funny because some P said, damn, Zuski is going to make the same kind of money like Giroud next year. Welcome, Mr. Pierre Martin. Welcome to join us. Mr. Resco is in the house. We're going to fire up right now, 42. So let's move in for the next one. Um, where do you believe Fleury is going to be? Three.
Well, if we go by yesterday's rumors, we think he's going to land in Washington, which kind of I could see a case for that, and I know Elliot Friedman kind of made reference to it. I could still possibly see Edmonton coming into the equation. Um, I mean, those would be my probably my top two teams right now.
Okay. Sound good?
Yeah.
Look, we have more questions, but we have to go 5:43. So we know we have only 5 games to the end of the world. So I know we can take a little bit longer. So we enjoy everybody. Some of you are going to join us right now. So let's dive in for what we do at the end of the show. We not the end of the show, but at that time, I want to mention before we go, in Canada right now, it's a Bell Let's Talk. It's about the mental illness, everything like that. The sport involved, hockey world is involved about that. And I think that's a great opportunity to increase fundraisers. So we're doing sharing about that. So I just want to mention about this Bell Let's Talk. It's really a big movement in Canada today. So that's the day of them. So that's what happening, Mr. ENORTAP. Just want to sharing with this. But we need to find Mr. ENORTAP like we do. Who are they? And we're going to do this very quickly. It's not an easy one. It's Atlanta Thrasher.
So we want the goalie?
Yep. By the way, I believe the players is the players is Sean Avery, 36, but that's not him we're looking for. José Duardis Beaupré. Mason. Nope. ENORTAP.
Oh boy. I want to say Trevor Kidd.
That's a great pick, by the way, but it's not a good one. It's Frédéric Cassivi.
Oh, okay.
Frédéric Cassivi, he was the winner. Yamo said Pazzi Norman, and that's a pretty good one also. Frédéric Cassivi playing the QM was, and next one about that. There are more people, and most of you knows already number 1125. I'm looking for the number 20 Toronto and the goaltender for this picture. Number 20 Toronto Maple Leaf and the goaltender. Pavesky, wow, Steve, remember Pavesky. The goaltender and the players for the Toronto Maple Leaf.
I think I see Ian Turnbull behind Lambert.
Yep. Espresso, José Duarte.
That Leaf guy has me baffled.
Ross said Paul Harris Saganyuk.
Saganek. Rocky Saganek? I don't think so. Could it be?
Esposito Jose. Who
No.
are they in our top?
I thought the goalie was Harrison.
No.
No. Okay.
It's funny because Ross thumping the Ross, he got the first name Paul. The second name, he got the first part of the name, Harris, but it's Paul Harrison.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, Harrison.
And then the players, it's Monahan.
Oh, that's Monahan. Okay.
Yeah, that's a Monahan over there. So congratulations, everybody. We have to fire up because we are at the 5 game. Yeah, about 3-minute max to talk about this. Even Michel Pierre-Martin said about that. So that's where we are. We're going to fire up this and we start with the first game of the night. San Jose against the Washington Capitals. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. And thanks, Monahan from Police Academy, Yamo.
Not quite, but
yeah.
Well, here we have both a situation with the Sharks and the Capitals. They've In the month of January, they've struggled somewhat. Each team is sort of going to be looking to get back on track tonight when they play. Washington closed the 2021 year on a 15-4-3 run, but since then is only 3-5-2, and I guess that's why issues around trying to get Fleury here or there have come up. The Capitals have been outscored 33-23 in this month, and they've had 4 one goal losses. So those are all things that they want to try to correct, obviously. Through a 7-game point streak that ended, Ovechkin continues, though, to still be the NHL leader with 58 points, 29 goals, 29 assists in 43 games. I think maybe Draisaitl may have just surpassed him last night by a point. Ovechkin's closing in on a 16th season of at least 30 goals. That's amazing if you think about that. And he sits just 7 shy of third place right now on the overall all-time goal list, which is held by Jagger at 766. Washington is 6-0-1 against the Sharks since losing 4 straight back in 2015 to 2017. So since then, they haven't lost to them. San Jose won 3 straight from January 6th to the 11th, but has 10 goals, 6 in one game, while going 1-3-1 since that run. So looking to avoid a third consecutive defeat, the Sharks will try to regroup a little bit here. They're coming off of a tough 7-1 home loss at the hands of the Lightning. So it'll be a tough uphill battle for them. I think Washington will win this game 4-2. Okay, the next game we have is Anaheim and Toronto, which is the game you're doing tonight, Coach, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken.
Yep.
Okay, so after starting their 5-game trip with a victory over the Bruins, the Ducks hope to ride the momentum into Toronto tonight. The Leafs are coming off of a win that completed a 3-2-1 trip with a 3-1 victory over the Islanders on Saturday. So the Ducks defeated the Bruins 5-3 on Monday night and have won 2 consecutive games after they had lost 4 straight. So they kind of redeemed themselves a little bit, but they still have a lot of work to do. Part of it is, they had quite a few injuries as well. The Ducks scored 5 goals for the second consecutive game. They defeated Tampa Bay 5-1, most recently on that trip. I think that we talked about this before. Sheldon Keefe experimenting with his lines on Monday in practice could be a good thing. He had Austin Matthews between both Bunting and Andre Cachet. Center John Tavares was flanked with Mikheyev and Marner, and I think Kerfoot was with Nylander and David Kemp, if I'm not mistaken. So, and the best line, actually, from what I read, was the Nylander line in practice anyway. So I'm going to take the Leafs to win this one, Coach, 4-2.
4-2. Perfect.
Yeah.
Could you, Jose Laham, give me the score between Washington? I don't think so. I have your score, Joseph Laham. Score for Washington. That'd be great. I maybe miss it. I apologize.
Okay, our next game we have Calgary and Columbus. The Blue Jackets have lost 2 straight games. They've dropped 3 out of their last 4 and are actually on a 6-14-1 slide that has them really, I would say, plummeted down in the standings, and obviously are not entertaining any kind of position. Will probably be sellers at trade deadline time. Adding to their woes is the They're very ice cold power play that they have going. They're converting at a miserable 6.6% rate right now in the last 20 games. Um, you know, part of it is the struggling of guys like Patrick Laney and Max Domi, Roslovic, Bjorkstrand. Like these are guys that should be clicking on that power play, and for whatever reason, you don't see much creativity going on that power play. So the Flames recently dumped the Blues quite handily, 7-1 at home on Monday. I know the Blues were on a back-to-back and they'd been traveling. Um, Now they take on Columbus tonight at a very hostile arena. Uh, I think Goudreau has been a positive story this year for them. Kachuk the other night picked up 5 assists, so he continues his 13-point, his 5-game streak, but he has 13 points in that time, which is pretty awesome for them. I think that Calgary will continue their winning ways tonight. I'm going to take them to win this 4-2.
3-1.
So Calgary 4-2.
Here we go.
Okay, and next we have Chicago and Detroit. Should be a very interesting rematch here. The Blackhawks uh, are headed to Detroit on a 4-game losing streak themselves. The Red Wings were defeated in a back-to-back set over the weekend. Uh, they themselves are just they've just won 3 out of their past 11 games as well. So we're sort of starting to see a bit of um, a regression to the mean for Detroit after a very promising first part of the season. The Blackhawks are 0-2-2 during the slide, including a 2-0 blanking by Colorado on Monday. The Hawks have been, again, having a difficult time getting goals. They only have 6 goals in their past 4 games. If it wasn't for Marc-Andre Fleury, they you kind of wonder if they'd be competing at the bottom with Arizona and Montreal. Um, Chicago's wrapping up a 3-game road trip before hosting Colorado on Friday. They scored 4 second period goals in defeating them 6-3 last time. Uh, what we're starting to see a little bit is, a lot of teams are starting to opponents are starting to get a little bit more physical with players like Lucas Raymond. And that's why we see that his production has, since probably sometime in December, has started to dwindle a bit. We're not hearing him at that same rate that we were at the beginning of the year. Um, you know what? This will be a tough game for Chicago, though. Detroit tends to play a lot better at home. I can expect You can expect to probably see a good game out of Larkin and Sider tonight. So I'm going to take Detroit 3-2.
It's pretty even, this game.
Yeah. And our last game of the night is Boston and Colorado, which should be probably our top game of the night. They're coming off of a successful homestand, the Bruins are. Pasternak and the Bruins will look to stay hot on the road as they visit one of the league's best home teams and best team overall in the Avalanche. Pasternak had a goal and an assist on Monday, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday. The return of Tuukka Rask right now, it hasn't quite been what they've expected. The coach did say that it's going to take time for him to get back into the form that he can be at, but he's allowed 5 goals on 27 shots in the 3 games that he's appeared in. Those kind of numbers just won't do it. And it's a good thing that Boston is in the Eastern Conference because it allows them to, get Tuukka Rask in net a little bit more often and try to work this out without doing too much damage to their position in the overall standings. Um, uh, with Colorado, what can we say? Guys like Rantanen, Kadri, McKinnon, these guys, Makar, like they've just been outstanding. And you follow it up with the fact that their goaltending situation has been really, really good lately, both with Francouz and Kemper. These guys, they're going to be hard to defeat, especially when they're at home. They've improved to 18-2-1 now at home and has won its last 7 games overall. So this is going to be one heck of a tough game, but I think Colorado should win it in the end, 4-2.
I put 6-3 me. Big score for that, but it's a big game for Boston, guys. I believe for me, Boston is you have to show some statement against the better team, and I think that's for me. That's something they have to prove to the rest of the league. They can compete with the best and the best. So pretty interesting. All the score we have. Joseph Laham, I'm still missing your score. Washington. Joseph Laham, that'd be great if you can give me that score over there. Some of you want to get me a fantasy players. You can get it right now. I have already Ross, Steve, Ron 20, Jose, and Yamo already go. They are in. If Kelly want to join, give me your players, or other people can give it to me. That'd be great. I would take a note. Like we do at the end of the show, we always talk about the fantasy hockey. And that's what we are at that moment. And first of all, Mr. ENORTAP gained a little bit more point yesterday. Coach dropped again. And we are still at 16 points behind, honestly. And tonight, I select Toronto. I think I select Toronto, right?
Yes, you did.
I did all Colorado. Mekar, Taze, for Matthews, for Kelly, Rantanen, and McKinnon. All of them, it's all about, I expect 5-6 goals against Boston, so I go all Colorado tonight. About that, Kelly go also with number 88.
I was going to take Matthews, Kelly, but I gave him to coach. Okay, goaltending, I'm going to take Calgary tonight. And my defenseman, I'm going to take Sider from Detroit. And I'm going to take Morgan Riley from Toronto. Forwards, I'm going to go with Kadri, Mr. Hockey, Goudreau in Calgary, and Ovechkin.
5-3-4. Okay, perfect. Pierre Martin go with also with McKinnon. And then Steve Colorado for coach. Yes, that's what I'm focusing honestly for tonight, everybody. We appreciate many of you join us tonight. I know sometimes it's not for everybody that's at 5 o'clock. If ever you cannot make it, guys, you're always welcome to email me during the day, and I would pick it up because it's not for everybody can be here all the time at 5 o'clock, and we appreciate your dedication and the time you pass with us every night. Give out all your prediction. We really kind of you to do it, so thank you so much. But Mr. ENORTAP, it's time for the shootout. It's time to conclude the show. And what are you looking for tonight? What is you're going to pay attention tonight?
I think the Boston Colorado game, Coach. I think you hit the nail on the head. For Boston, it has to be a statement game to show that they can play with one of the top echelon teams in the league. For Colorado, they're at home. They really can't afford to lose this. They have to maintain their dominance. So that's where we're at.
On the flip side, Anaheim would be great for them if they can win tonight in Toronto. That give them stay in the race against other team over there. I think that's a good thing for them. Calgary is a very important game because they are still in the race over there for sure. And finally, Anaheim play back tomorrow night against Montreal. So very important at least to get 2 points. They get tied the game and lost in the OT example. I think that would be great. So A lot of good game.
Right.
We're going to be back at 7 o'clock, guys, tonight for the live stream play-by-play with the hockey
Look out
coach,
for
Coach Frenchy.
Zebras too tonight.
But until then, we wish you, look forward to seeing you a little bit later. Until then, we wish you an amazing, great night. But before we leave, you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. Thank you so much, everybody. ENORTAP, always a pleasure having you aboard.
Right,
and you always give us a lot of great insight with all the nuggets. And you always deliver the great content. So thank you so much, Mr. ENORTAP. We wish you an amazing, great night. Richard, everybody. Thank you so much. Having a great night, everybody.
Take care.
What do I know?
Big G, click on the lights. Richard Marlin,
What's going on now?
Run with
Is
Kings,
this another
Pierre
breakdown?
Martin,
You and me,
Kelly,
should I let go? I
Philip
don't
Sauce, good luck
really
with
want
Detroit.
to know
Patrick
what's
Fan,
going
we
on
welcome
now.
back, buddy.
Is this another breakdown? You and me, should I say so?
Thank you, Pierre.
We're just putting on a show. Come on, get a grip now of all the ways we parted. You showed in your own way we would stand and we would fall united. Come on, get a grip now, just finish what you started.